Avatar: The Way of Water. 13 insane years, and finally the wait is over as the movie hits the theaters on December 16th of 2022. What took it so long? When good stories and amazing creators unite to work on a collective cause of good filmmaking, wonders happen. The same happened in 2009 when Avatar was released. In today's video, we will look into the details of the insane making of Avatar. Before we get into such details, don't forget to subscribe to Explained. You're in the perfect place in search of unique and interesting content. Thank you. Now let's get on to the video. Avatar: The Way of Water, still in theaters, has already collected $1.5 billion. The main reason for the delay of the sequel was James Cameron's perfectionism. Why? Because it's James Cameron, guys. You either get the best or none at all. Avatar was a 2009 sci-fi action movie directed by the magician filmmaker James Cameron. It was a box office hit, collecting $2.97 billion worldwide. The film was a visual treat, and every film lover worldwide was spellbound by the film setting and the storytelling. Avatar was intended to be a series of movies, and James wanted to make a back-to-back of them. It means he would want all of the scripts complete before any sequel movies goes to the floor. The number of sequel films also kept changing until it was fixed to 4. The team was also developing Pandora's ecosystem and creatures and new and old characters so that all the sequels are in a cohesive track and each script is interesting. Even after the script completion in 2017, the lack of technology made things delayed further. The technology was not enough for him to do traditional motion capture underwater, making James and his team find a new way and invent a new way to do motion capture. Motion capture is an optical-based system that uses markers that are photographed with the help of hundreds of cameras, but a moving mirror is formed at the interface of air and water, which reflects on all of the dots and markers, making the motion capture very inaccurate. This problem was solved by placing a bunch of black plastic balls that would break the surface reflection and prevent light from coming into the water. Actors like Sam Worthington, Zoe Saldana, Sigourney Weaver, and Kate Winslet shared their experience of shooting the movie. They said they were aware that they were like guinea pigs, as underwater motion capture was never done before. The actors were trained with world-renowned freedivers like Kirk Crack for diving lessons, archery, parkour, and so on. They were trained for weeks, from holding their breath underwater to getting their bodies acclimated to the water and the depth in which they were shooting. Using scuba gear was often impossible as the bubbles would interfere with the camera operations. The actors and the technicians, like the camera team, were also trained in freediving. The shooting was done in a 900,000-gallon water tank designed to mirror ocean currents. Instead of black beads, he used white plastic balls at the top. Another interesting fact about this shooting was Kate Winslet. Talking about Kate, the first movie that comes to anyone's mind is the epic Titanic, another exceptional artwork from the collections of James Cameron. During the Avatar shooting, Kate broke Tom Cruise's record for holding his breath underwater for 6 minutes to Kate's new record of 7 minutes and 14 seconds. Playing Rose in the movie Titanic seemed to have enabled her to survive underwater. Literal mermaid of Hollywood. Before anything else, make sure you subscribe to our channel Explained. We'll keep you on your toes with more interesting content. Thank you. Now back to the actors' preparations. They were to perform in 8.5 meter deep underwater, for which holding their breath was the key and the most difficult part. Before the training, the average time the cast members could hold their breath underwater for was 45 to 90 seconds. After 1 week of training, Kate Winslet could hold her breath for 4 minutes. For this, the actors underwent diaphragmatic breathing training, which strengthens the diaphragm and stretches the lungs and ribcage. This training allows us to increase our lung capacity to its fullest. These exercises relax the body and the mind, increasing the cast's underwater breath-holding capacity over time. By the time of the shooting, the actors were much more comfortable shooting underwater for a certain period. Holding a breath increases the carbon dioxide levels in our body, which urges us to breathe. By practicing and exercising, the body builds a tolerance to carbon dioxide, calming the body underwater. There were scenes where the actors were supposed to be about 30 feet underwater. The production team will provide scuba during the break for the actors to sustain a stable breathing pattern as they spend hours in the water. The team underwater includes the safety coordinators who ensure the cast and crew's safety. Before the underwater adventures, the actors had to do intense scenes like the first movie, donning weapons like knives and arrows for the fight scenes. Actors were trained to polish their weapon skills to make the fight scenes underwater more efficient. They also practiced riding on top of mechanical creatures to give a convincing performance with their aquatic life in the film. The actors also brushed up on their verbal skills, which differed slightly in the underwater sequence from the land. The cast and crew members' dedication to making the film makes it already successful. The cinematography was a crucial element in shooting Avatar: The Way of the Water. Australian cinematographer Powell Achter's invention, the 3D beam splitter called the Deep X3D, was used by Cameron for underwater sequences with special lenses developed for underwater photography. It provided clean and undistorted 3D IMAX underwater. The weight of typical IMAX is about 120 kilograms, and it needs cranes to carry them inside of the water. The Deep X3D provided a compact, friendly underwater setup and had an amazing partnership with Sony's Venice cameras. The magical combination created a stereoscopic 3D system that can shoot a high frame rate. The Venice camera delivers one of the best astonishing images with incredible dynamic range, perfect color, and crystal clear images. For the last 80 years, the standard high frame in the industry has been 24 frames per second. Now, high frame rates are increasing. As in the case of this movie, Cameron was selective about the shots where the frames were supposed to increase. Like when flying and underwater 3D scenes, the high frame rate was implemented, and in shots where people stand and converse, the old frame rate of 24 per second was followed. Weta Digital was also involved in the making of The Way of the Water. Cameron uses templates that are data-rich, visually undistinguished packages. A template is the shooting process of capturing the lighting performances and camera moves when Cameron wants it. He hands it over to Weta to apply algorithms and layers of animation that brings the character to life. Weta then turns this template data into 3D CG characters, along with building the world around them, which involves the help of artificial intelligence. Kate Winslet said it was remarkable to see the movements and performance go straight into the character. The movie's principal photography started in September 2017 at Manhattan Beach Studio and ended in November 2018, which was only the mocap version. There was a more live-action shoot left to be done in New Zealand. Between all of these, the production company Fox Movie Studio was acquired by Disney. This was considered a win-win situation for Cameron, as both the world of Avatar and Disney are widely popular and keep the IP fresh in the viewers' minds. It was then that the whole world was shut down due to the global pandemic. This disrupted the film team's production processes and schedules set to be achieved in New Zealand. However, they resumed their shoot after May of 2020 when the government endorsed New Zealand's health and safety production protocols. Even though there were various barriers during the shooting and making of this film, when it was released, everyone wholeheartedly accepted this visual wonder. The upcoming sequels are also in their finishing stages, one by one, as the third part is set to release in December of 2024. If Avatar 2 and 3 fail to shine at the box office, the fourth and fifth parts will most likely be annulled. If The Way of the Water doesn't deliver as expected, Cameron won't move on to the last two projects, as each film is fully drawn-out story, not a continuing storyline. All of these factors put in mind might have taken the movie 13 years to go on the floor. Reportedly, almost the whole third movie is finished filming, and some bits of the fourth movie too. The youngest cast members' footage is also said to have been captured by Cameron, as he wants it to be the same and perfect continuation of the prequels before they went through adulting. Wow, there is a lot of hard work put into this film, and then some people really come out and say that the CGI wasn't up to mark. Really? What are your thoughts about the Avatar movies? Tell us in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Click on the right to watch more of our exciting videos. If you liked our video, give us a big fat thumbs up and share it with your friends, as well as watch Avatar: The Way of the Water.